Everyone, call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday evening, April 24th, 2023. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have 18 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, April 10th, 2023.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The meeting minutes are filed 11-0. Agenda item number 2.
Communication for President Ossing regarding proposed ordinance amendment to Chapter 510 Sewers, Section 2, use of public sewers relative to sewer stub location.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Services.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to Public Service 11-0. Agenda item number 3.
Communication from President Ossing regarding proposed zoning ordinance amendment to Chapter 650 zoning to create the new Donald Lynch Boulevard Overlay District.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer this to Urban Affairs.
Motion made and seconded to refer the communication to Urban Affairs. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to Urban Affairs 11-0. Agenda item number 4.
Excuse me. Communication from the mayor regarding the reappointment of Stephanie Ferrecchia to the Community Development Authority for a 3-year term to expire on March 9th, 2026.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. If we could move item 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to personnel, please.
Motion is made and seconded to move agenda items 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They will all be going to the Personnel Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Agenda items 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all going to Personnel, 11-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from the mayor regarding request to rescind bond in the amount of $8,983,087 for the Goodnow Brothers Elementary School that is no longer available to be bonded for the intended project.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, it's certainly good news that the project came in under budget. That's wonderful for the city. I'd like to thank the mayor and his financial team for doing a wonderful job for the city. Motion to rescind the bond in the amount of $8,983,087, please.
Motion made and seconded to rescind the bond. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, since this is a rescission and it is a bond, it will be a roll call vote. So a yes vote is to rescind the bond. I'll ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilor Irish.
Yes.
Councilor Roby.
Yes.
Councilor Navin.
Yes.
Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Yes.
Councilor Oram.
Yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Yes.
And Councilor Landers.
Yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to rescind the bond is approved, 11 in favor, 0 opposed. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from the mayor regarding proposed tax increment financing agreement with Moderna TX, Inc., a biotech company with plans to purchase and operate a biomanufacturing facility and office space at 149 Hayes Memorial Drive.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion's made and seconded to refer the request to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The TIF request from Moderna is going to Finance, 11-0. Agenda item number 11.
Communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding proposed deed conveying a certain parcel of land consisting of 9,387 square feet, plus or minus, known as the Rail Spur parcel off Lincoln Street to the Marlborough Economic Development Corporation.
Councilor Pearlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer the communication to the Legislative and Legal Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to L&L, 11-0. Agenda item number 12.
Public input regarding the application for site plan approval from Attorney Falk on behalf of JW Capital Partners, LLC, to build a mixed-use project at 57 Main Street in the Marlborough Village District, order number 22-23-100, 8694D.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the communications.
Motion made and seconded to accept and file the communications. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communications are filed, 11-0. Agenda item number 13.
Communication from Andrew Deli Carpini on behalf of Colbia Enterprises LLC regarding a request pursuant to Chapter 342, gasoline stations and car washes, Section 2 exceptions of the code to operate a gas station convenience store, the Shell Station at 342 Boston Post Road East, on a 24-hour basis.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to move to set a public hearing for May 8th and see what the public has to say about the request.
You want to refer it to urban and advertise as well?
Thank you. Yes, refer to urban and advertise.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Urban Affairs Committee. We'll advertise a public hearing for May 8th. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is going to urban with a May 8th public hearing and to be advertised, 11-0. Agenda item 14.
Application for renewal of a junk dealer, secondhand dealer license, TVI Inc., DBA Savers at 222A East Main Street.
Council Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer the junk dealer license to Public Services. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to Public Service, 11-0. Agenda item 15.
Communication from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Marlborough Apartment Partners 2 LLC with a proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650 zoning, Section 36, Executive Residential Overlay District to increase the cap on the number of multifamily dwelling units from 475 to 950.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to Urban Affairs and the Planning Board, set a public hearing for May 22nd. And I would also request that the solicitor give us a ruling on the petitioner's statement regarding whether they are a eligible location under MGL Chapter 40A, Section 1A.
Okay. So the motion is to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing for May 22nd, refer to the Planning Board, and to advertise, and then the solicitor, as part of the normal process and review of Urban Affairs, will weigh in on the applicant's suggestions of how it applies to the housing statistic. So, everybody clear? Urban, Planning Board, public hearing May 22nd, and advertise. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Opposed? It's going to Urban, the Planning Board, with a public hearing on May 22nd, and to advertise, 11-0. Agenda item 16.
Minutes, boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President?
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed, 11-0. Agenda item 17.
Claims.
Councilor Pearlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the claims to the legal department.
Motion made and seconded to refer the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Claims are going to legal, 11-0. Reports of committees. We'll start with Public Service.
That's always a good one, Mr. President, to start with. Public Service Committee did meet on April 19th. We took up one item, order number 231008840, application for renewal of a junk dealer's license from Arthur and Sons on 107 Main Street. Chief Georgie notified the committee the applicant's query is in good standing, which is something we always check. And Mr. Arthur gave us a pretty good idea what business is like, not only in the shoemaker business, but also in the jewelry business. It was a very interesting lesson for all of us. But based on what he was telling us and what he's doing there, on a motion by Councilor Irish, second by Councilor Brown, the recommendation of the committee was the approval of the application of renewal of the junk dealer license to Arthur and Sons, 107 Main Street. Vote was 3-0. And our meeting ended at 6:46 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on April 19, 2023. We convened at 7 p.m. We had two items that evening on the agenda. First item is order number 23-100-8850, communication from Mayor Vigil together with two transfer requests totaling $748,290, $648,290 for operating budget, and $100,000 for economic development toolbox. From economic development to MEDC for funding for the FY 2024. MEDC Executive Director Meredith Harris and Director Operations Linda Martins addressed the mayor's request. The use of the toolbox was discussed at length. Councilors were happy that the funds are available to both new and existing businesses. Councilors discussed many items, including contract services, the shuttle bus, the health of the city's vacancy rate, the work of MEDC to assist large and small businesses alike, corporations between MEDC and the Chamber of Commerce, including a seat for Meredith on the Chamber Board. Meredith noted that Wellies was a recipient of the toolbox funding for the planned new restaurant at the site at the former Fish Restaurant at South Bolton and Granger Boulevard. On a motion by Council Pearlman, seconded by the chair, the committee voted to recommend approval of the transfer to fund the toolbox and the FY 2024 operating budget. The vote carried 4-0. Next item was order number 23-100-8851, communication from Mayor Vigil together with a transfer request in the amount of $393,854.64 from PEG funds, which is the Public Educational Government Access Channels to Marlborough Cable Trust, to fund WMCT-TV's operations and capital requests for FY 2024 WMCT-TV operating budget. TV Director Ryan Mylar addressed the mayor's request and provided an update on existing, new, and public access programming involving all aspects of the community, including the city council, the school committee meetings, mayoral and school superintendent updates, MHS sports, Shamrocks, football, Chamber of Commerce, and others, including some bilingual programming. Ryan outlines the staffing levels at the station, and although enthusiastic about the great amount of work accomplished with a small but dedicated staff, he would like to, for the future, to establish a new position to work on the greater youth programming. Ryan replied to Council Orm that the station programming can be found on YouTube and directly on WMC-TV's website. On a motion by Council Pearlman, seconded by the chair, the committee voted to recommend approval of the transfer to fund WMC-TV operations and the capital request. Vote carried 4-0. Meeting adjourned at 7:58 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Irish. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Urban Affairs met on Wednesday, April 19th. Also, we took up order number 23-100-8721D, a communication from Mayor Vigil regarding the veto of City Council Order 22-23-100-8721C and ordinance amendments to Chapter 65 zoning relative to certain provisions concerning mixed use and affordable housing. The chair read the mayor's letter dated March 24th, and that notified the council of his veto of the order. The mayor offered further remarks on the veto. Councilor Ossing went through his comments on the veto and his proposed amendments to the order, suggesting reducing the 15 affordable units to affordable units for developments of 8 or more, and remove the sentence requiring 20 to have 20% affordable units. His suggestion was to let the mayor's veto stand and then reintroduce the order with his suggested amendment. As we went around the room, there was a lot of discussion, but the consensus of the committee was to report this out with no recommendation of the committee, but let the vote on the veto occur at tonight's meeting and move forward.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Are there any other reports of committees? Any other reports of committees? Seeing none. Agenda item number 18.
Order number 22-23-100-8721D, mayoral veto of City Council Order 22-23-100-8721C, ordinance amendments to Chapter 650 zoning, relative to certain provisions concerning mixed use and affordable housing. The mayor's communication regarding his veto was read into the record, and the matter was referred to Urban Affairs Committee and postponed to the April 24th, 2022 City Council meeting.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to move to uphold the veto, and if that is approved, then to refer Order 2223-108-721C back to Urban Affairs.
Motion made and seconded to uphold the mayor's veto and refer the order back to Urban Affairs. Is there any discussion on the motion? Councilor Pearlman.
Thank you, President Ossing. I just want to appreciate everyone. It was a really great committee meeting that we all had with a great discussion with the mayor about some of the urban development in the city and the need for affordable housing, and there was some really great discussion about adjusting the numbers to make sure that we're still an attractive community, that will have developers, but also that the affordable housing numbers are actually reaching people in the community, and there was some good dialogue around the people who are working here and making sure that they also can live here. I know I brought up around the affordable housing having a percentage set aside for very affordable, making sure that it's a lower percentage of the AMI, and so I hope that if the veto is upheld, which I'm in support of, for an opportunity to add in those language, that we do put that in the final draft that comes back to the council, because I think those stratification of different income levels is really important. So I just wanted to make sure that that was in the conversation for anyone who wasn't at the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Pearlman. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's more of a point of order. It would be to uphold, the other vote would be to uphold the veto
We will conduct a vote to uphold the veto.
or deny the veto.
Well, yeah, you either.
Deny or, okay. Just want to know the nomenclature.
I'll go through that before we vote so everyone knows what they're voting on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Anyone else? So on the motion to uphold the mayor's veto, so what that means is if you vote in favor of that, the order that the council approved will basically go by the wayside, and as Councilor Roby said, there'll be the second motion that's going to refer that order back to Urban Affairs. But we'll take the first one on the veto first. So the motion before the council is to uphold the mayor's veto. Is everybody clear? It's a roll call vote. A yes vote is to uphold the mayor's veto. Everybody good? Yep. All right, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Pearlman.
Yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Yes.
Councilor Navin.
Yes.
Councilor Roby.
Yes.
Councilor Landers.
Yes.
Councilor Orem.
Yes.
Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Yes.
Councilor Irish.
Yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Okay, so the motion to uphold the mayor's veto is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. On the motion to refer Order 8721D back to Urban Affairs, is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? That order is going back to Urban Affairs, 11-0.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:18.